On Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, off to the North Pole with you. I'm staying here with Rudolph because we're gonna have our own celebration. It's Christmas in July. Dashing through the sand on this holiday so grand, surfing on the waves on the summertime Christmas day. Bells on palm trees ring as they're swaying in the breeze. Oh, what fun it is to have a beachy Christmas day. Howdy, my friends. It's Holly, and you're here at my channel, The Morning Pour. Welcome. This is such an exciting day, especially if you're here at the time of our premieres, because it's Christmas in July, and you're here sharing it with me right now, right here on my channel, The Morning Pour. And better yet, if you're here at the day of the premieres, then hopefully you're here with the rest of us fabulous artists, bringing you beautiful visual splendor for you to feast your eyes upon in this most epically grand celebration. In this most fabulous collaboration, we were allowed to do whatever we wanted to do within our painting, so long as there was something about it that captured the spirit of Christmas in July. So this is awesome. I love this. There was a lot of flexibility here, and it's going to be so fun to see what each of the artists have done within their imagination and their execution of their imagination to bring their beautiful fine art splendor to all of us to see, because I even like to see their art pieces as well. So thank you for being here, and remember, if you're here with us at the time of the premieres, we love that. We love interacting with you in the chat box, so definitely keep that in mind. If you like our art and think that you'll come to our future collabs, then definitely please try to make our premieres, because we really enjoy getting to interact with you and getting to know you a little bit better and having some fun together right there live in the chat box. So I'm going to bring two different paintings to you for your viewing pleasure today. This one is strictly an abstract piece within the acrylic pouring genre. I am going to be doing a swipe, and it was really important to me to really use the colors that I really love seeing when I look at a lot of the photos and imagery when it is pertaining to Christmas in July or that tropical beach type of a Christmas theme. I love tropical beaches, I love the ocean, and I love Christmas. I love summer. And Christmas is a really magical, heartwarming time of year. Oh wait, just a moment on that thought, because in just a moment, I have to sing another rendition of my most fabulously epic rewrite on the Jingle Bell lyric. This isn't my first rewrite on the Jingle Bell lyric. In fact, this is not my best rewrite, but I like it for this collaboration, and here's the other one for your listening pleasure. Dashing through the sand on this holiday so grand, surfing on the waves on the summertime Christmas day. Bells on palm trees ring as they're swaying in the breeze. Oh, what fun it is to have a beachy Christmas day, so sweet. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells. Oh, jingle bells, yeah, jingle all the way on this July Christmas day. Yeah. Yeah, riding in a one-horse open sleigh on the sand or on the jet ski on the waves. Yeah, tropical Christmas day. Ooh. to the story that I had been telling. I love the feeling of Christmas. There's just a certain sweet, friendly, loving feeling that I remember feeling through my childhood years, and I still recollect that feeling each year. And I love summer. I love the warm months, and I love the beach. I love the ocean. So this was super fun for me. Completely amazing being able to bring the spirit of both of these things together in one collaboration, one artistic effort. Well, in my case, it's going to be two, because I just couldn't leave it at one. I wanted to do something strictly fluid art and strictly abstract, because that's what my channel is mainly about. And at the same time, I really wanted to bring forth a fun little scene to feast our eyes upon. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy both. I do include a lot of acrylic pouring techniques in the second painting as well. In fact, I could have even done more within it. I'll explain that when we get there. But for the sake of time, I actually had to cut some of it out. But I did do a lot, and I will explain as we go into that piece where else I could have used more fluid art techniques, so that you can also get an idea of what you might be able to do in your own art pieces should you want to try to do something like that. So here you can see I've blended Christmas colors and beachy colors. I've got the red, the green, the gold, and the beachy aquas and blues on a puddle of white. And I have mixed up my Amsterdam black with some Australian Floetrol and a little bit of water to bring it to consistency. And I actually made my own swiping tools. I needed some swiping tools of various sizes, and I really did not want to go out to try to find anything suitable. And plus, to be honest, even when I have looked at the store at different palette knife sizes, I didn't really recall any that I saw offhand in my memory that would really do what I wanted. So do you know what I did? I started to look around, and I started to get creative, and I said to myself, what do I have? Oh, look at those cells. Aren't those fantastic? I love that Australian Floetrol mixed with that Amsterdam acrylic paint, don't we all? It's like the magic sauce, right? Okay, so I wanted some various shapes and sizes, and so I was looking around and I thought, what can I use? And I happened to see a lid that I just missed taking out to the recycle bin for a large coffee can. And I thought, now that's a nice, somewhat flexible and yet somewhat firm, large piece of something that I can cut out with my scissors. And in fact, it's large enough that I can probably cut a few different shapes and sizes out of it. And remember, my friends, this is a collaboration, and up after me, if you are here, especially watching on the day that we're premiering, is Cindee of Cynthia Porter Studio. Cindee is a wonderful, wonderful, sweet person. She is very kind and funny and witty, and she's a great artist, and she's just a beautiful person. And I really am happy to have been getting to know her. I actually met her not very long after I even started my channel. I met Donna even sooner to when I started my channel, probably within a day or two after I started my channel, and I met Cindee very shortly after that. And I've been palling around with the two of them ever since, and having the best of times with both of them, as well as the other artists that I've been meeting and becoming friends with along the way. It has been so amazing, and I have really been so happy with this part of having this art channel. And that alone, just that feeling that I've been having with my artist friends, really encompasses perfectly this whole feeling of Christmas, the Christmas spirit, that sweet feeling in our hearts, that warm, cozy feeling. And I just love that. And I have been really enjoying that with the friends that I have been making in this artistic, beautiful YouTube channel journey. And I had no idea that this was going to happen. It never even entered my mind that such a thing could happen. And it's really turned out to be the best part, my favorite part about having started this channel. So thank you for not only being here right now, if you're listening to me right now, you're here right now supporting my channel and enjoying this piece of artwork. And please remember that Cindee is coming up next, and the link to her channel is below in the description box, as well as the link to all of the other artists in this whole entire collaboration. So even if you are seeing this after the fact and it's no longer the day that we are premiering, please be sure to check out all of the artists who came together for this collaboration, because it's going to be so fun and really fascinating to see what everyone came up with within this theme. That is one of my favorite, most fun parts about being in collaborations. Aside from the fact that it stretches me and pushes me as an artist to think of new things I might not otherwise think about, to expand into areas I might not have otherwise expanded into, but I really enjoy watching what the other artists have come up with as well within the chosen theme of the given collaboration. Look at this beautiful detail. Oh my goodness. I love how this came out. I'd love to hear from you what your take on this is. What do you like about it? What do you don't like about it, if there's something that you don't like about it? And before you go, I know I'm showing you close-ups here, but we are not done yet, my friends, because I have another fantastic piece to show you, and a lot of it is created with fluid art techniques. Here we go. This is my tropical Christmas theme painting. So I'm starting to put the paint on in the background with a squirt bottle, spoon, taking it right out of the cups, and then spreading it around with the palette knife. I sped up the footage because it actually took quite some time to create this painting, and I really just can't on a YouTube video show you that in real time. That would just take way too long. So much better sped up. You'll get the idea. So there I'm swiping. That might be going a little fast, but I actually took little pieces of paper towel and I'm just swiping gently across the surface to help blend it in, while at the same time just adding in another technique within the acrylic pouring art genre. So here I'm actually moving down into what is going to be the ocean portion of the painting. And there's going to be a fun Santa and a Rudolf there, because remember, in the beginning of this very awesome collaboration video, Santa was kicking it on a flotation device in the ocean as his sleigh and the rest of his reindeer team were flying back off to the North Pole, and Santa mentioned that he'd stay in there with Rudolf. So I had to have Rudolf stay with Santa so that it would make sense as to how Rudolf was in my painting. So here I'm using different smears and different swipes, and you can tell I also used some white activator made with Amsterdam paint and Australian Floetrol, and that's why we get a lot of those cells and lacings over there in the ocean. Now, I did not want to use that on the sky because I did not want that effect in the sky, but I felt that it would be very perfect for the ocean, and it came out really nicely. I was really pleased with that. So I'm using fluid art techniques for it's not really a snowman, it's a sand man, but kind of in a different way than that song Mr. Sandman implies. But anyway, I again didn't want too much texture in the snowman. How do you say that? Sandman? Oh, okay, I guess it's a Sandman, but you know, there's that song, Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. You know, I think that's like the Sandman. Isn't the Sandman like for when you go to sleep? I don't know. Maybe I should look up that meaning. Could I be remembering it wrong? Anything's possible, especially with the way my memory is sometimes. Sometimes it's like stone and I remember everything perfectly, and other times, not so much. Okay, so some of what I'm doing is I'm just using squirt bottles and palette knives and spoons to just put on liquidy paint so that I can show you that there is a lot that you can do within using strictly fluid art techniques. And I had originally planned on using the same techniques as I did for the kind of like the ocean and the sand area for Santa's outfit, for his hat and his jacket. There I'm doing the sun. I'm going to be putting some palm tree leaves over part of the sun up ahead. But I need to work in layers. Remember to work in layers, my friend. If you have one element that's going to partially cover another, you want to put in the one it's going to partially cover first and then let it dry, unless you are doing an entirely wet on wet type of painting, which is definitely a possibility, but not the modality that I chose for this one. So Rudolf himself, his body, was another area where I was going to actually do a similar thing like I did for the sand area and the ocean area. But the thing was, is I originally abandoned this painting for this collaboration, and I was originally, well, not originally, I originally started this and then thought better of it, decided to put it aside and thought maybe I'd finish it for next Christmas in July. And I went to just that abstract painting that I showed you. And then yesterday, I think it was, let's see, Thursday, so it's Friday, I'm starting to get into the final stages of my editing, and Saturday is the day of the premiere. So at the time you're seeing it, 2 days ago, I decided to make a mad dash and finish this painting. And the thing is that the fluid art portions take longer to dry. It can take hours, if not a day, for those portions to dry. And I didn't have that kind of time, clearly, because I needed to make a mad dash to finish this. So I had to revert a little bit more to using finer layers of paint that didn't include Floetrol, because when you add Floetrol to the paint, it makes it take much, much, much longer to dry, my friends, than if it's just acrylic or acrylic and water. Okay, now if you are putting water in your acrylic, you don't want to put too much, because if you break down those binders too far, then your paint isn't going to stick to the canvas. It will stick to paper. You can thin it down practically as much as you want, and it'll absorb into the paper and bond with the paper. But when you're putting it on something like a canvas, if you add too much water without adding back in something that binds, then it could eventually flake off. And that would not be pretty. Okay, so as you see, I'm adding in more and more layers of depth with each layer, and I'm putting on little starfish eyes, because we don't have charcoal here, because this is not winter Christmas, this is tropical beach Christmas, and we've got other things. And so I used starfish eyes for the eyes. And there I'm just adding some shadowing, and then adding in the pupils, and just some of the details. So, you know what I'd love to hear from you is, what are some of the things that you like about Christmas, and what do you like about the idea of a summertime Christmas, Christmas in July, or tropical beach Christmas? What is your take on that? I'd love to hear from you, so let me know that in the comments below. And here you see I'm making some very stylized swirly woo antlers for Rudolph here, because we just need a very fun looking Rudolph. And for my Sandman, we are in the midst of creating a straw hat, but the reason I go back and forth to different areas is that I'm waiting for one part to dry in one place, so then I move somewhere else and I paint over there, and then when I do as much as I can do right then, and I need to let that dry, I move somewhere else. That's why it constantly looks like I'm dashing around to different places on the canvas. Acrylic paint does not take too long to dry on its own, especially when it's in thinner layers like this. It can sometimes dry to the touch in as quick as maybe 10 minutes, although I usually let a little more time go by than that, because if it's not fully set, you could accidentally start to rub it off if you try to go in too soon. So I usually will try to wait at least 15-20 minutes. So you can see how if you move to another area, you might clearly be painting over in another area or two for a good, definitely at least 15-20 minutes, and then you can come back to the first area with no problem. And then by the time you get done there, then you can go back to one of the other places that you just were, and then that's not a problem. And in that way you can work for an extended period of time and get a lot done while allowing different sections to dry so that you can safely go back and work another layer on top of them if you are painting in that sort of fashion. So his buttons and his nose are made out of those little round little candies that you sometimes find at diners or restaurants, those little after mints that you sometimes find at the cash register area. Little peppermint candy cane, round disky candies. I don't know the proper name for them. But anyway, that is the candy that I wanted to use for his nose and buttons rather than, again, the charcoal. And his mouth is, it can either be like a little twist, kind of like a green apple sort of red vine, except green vine kind of thing. Or it could be like little jelly beans, something like that. Again, candy. And there's a straw hat. I could have put a Santa hat on him, and one of my photos that I used in the trailer that I made for this collaboration, that there was a picture of a sand snowman with a Santa hat, and so I thought about doing that, but I kind of thought this green in this area would be better than another splotch of red. And I'm starting to create leaves, like big tropical leaf type of plant for the arms. But again, I'm working in layers, so I put down the initial layer and then I'm just going to other little portions and doing more touch-up work. And so something had happened in my line of the sand where the snow sand man is sitting. In the initial footage where I painted that, the line goes more straight out from the bottom, kind of like a little bit up. Well, if you kind of go back, you can see it was going straight out, and then somehow or another it sort of drifted and kind of made a little dip shape, which wasn't exactly proper. So I was fixing that a little bit. And here what I'm doing is I'm going to be creating little feet out of shells for him to have little feet. And so there I'm doing a little bit more of that touch-up work, just adding in more shadowing and making that sand look a little bit more proper. Now there what I'm doing by the antlers is, because the antlers are dark and parts in the ocean were dark, I'm taking some white and I'm starting to put it around, but then I fan it out, drawing it into other little places because I don't want to make it like just a white outline around the parts of Rudolf that I want to have stand out a little bit more, because that would look really weird. So you can get away with sort of outlining in a way, but you don't want to have it be like a line. So you kind of want to bring it out a little bit more. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see me do something like that in a little bit slower of a fashion with me speaking through it, so that you can have more of a tutorial out of it. But only let me know if you actually really think you would really be interested in seeing something like that, right? Because it's super easy to tell me you want to see it, but then if you don't really want to see it, like I don't really want to make it. So could you just think about that for a second? If you'd actually really like to see it, that'd be awesome. Okay, now look at how those leaves for his arms are starting to look, because I've just brought through so many layers of dimension. And I'm doing the same thing with the shells. Alright, now I didn't want to make those shells too red because I don't know about you, I've been to the beach many times and I've seen shells sold as souvenirs. I've never seen bright red ones, but I have seen pinkish sort of ones. So that was a... Alright, my friends, remember Cindee is up next, so be sure that you check Cindee's premiere out if you're here with us on the day of premieres, and even if you're not here at the time of premieres, check out Cindee and all of the rest of the artists in this amazing, wonderfully themed collaboration, and we'll see you all around our channels very soon. Thank you so much again for being here. We'll see you soon.